We live in a world where everything digital is designed to be perfect. But there's something about the old film look that's catching the eye of my generation. Gen Z. Why is it that our generation, raised with social media, smartphones, and amazing digital cameras, so drawn to the old school film look? There's something raw and real about the imperfections of film. But it cannot be nostalgia because how can we feel nostalgic for something we never lived? Do we want to look cool? Is it the old cameras, heritage, or just a temporary trend? So let's explore together. Let's find out why these vintage vibes are hitting home with us. The youth of today, ready to create new stuff but heavily inspired by the past. Walking these streets just reminds me, even us Gen Zers can feel nostalgic. But enough walking, let me show you where my nostalgia comes from. You might wonder, how can a digital camera from the 2000s stun nostalgia? I think it's more about the blurred lines between analog and digital for me. This JVC, while digital, represents the tactile, hands-on experience that's often lost in today's touching world. It's bulky, it's manual, and it makes you work for each shot. This tactile interaction is what I think we often miss about the good old days. The direct engagement with our tools, which creates a deeper connection with the process, not just the outcome. Looking at this old camcorder, I see that it wasn't just nostalgia. It was intent. A way of creating with purpose. But film is something different. Now film. Old, sensitive, authentic, and personal. Personal? Aren't you like born in 2004, the year film started to decline? Plus you only shot actual film a couple of times, right? Since I'm no good in this topic, I think I know who is. So, why is Gen Z loving this film look? Because we weren't part of, we weren't around, so how can we like something that was not part of our time? And also, like, why is that film look very comforting?
That's a good word. Good word, comforting. The idea of this film look, I think it's super unique because I'm 40 years old. I grew up in an era where film was still used at the end of my high school years, but was also becoming digital. So for me, it actually kind of has a sentimental value. I think that your generation, Gen Z, missed out on something you can touch and everything disappears in an instant. Gen Z missed out on the physicality of film. And maybe that's why we're going back to it. We're longing for something we can touch again. I just was shooting today with this 120 camera, and every single shot, I'm like, okay, that's $4. Click, $4. Click, $4. You stop and you think before you shoot when you're blazing through $4 at a time, or €4 or €5, whatever. It makes you pause, and that film, the reality of film is it makes you pause and makes you go slow. Craving the film look maybe makes us want to feel like life is slower. we want to feel like things are moving slower than they actually are, and so we add on these pieces to make it go slower.
Yeah, and I mean that sentence you said, I think, explains it all. It's like we want things to seem slower, because we're living in a very
Yeah.
fast-paced life, and also like content is very fast-paced and everything like that.
Yeah.
And that, I think, says like, hey, slow down a bit, take a moment and grab this shot.
Yeah. The world is spinning out of control. So when you have something physical you can touch, it slows it down.
We technically knew something about that, but we didn't try it, so now it feels...
Kind of feels like coming home.
Yeah, it feels like we were part of that, but we weren't. It's like...
Yeah. It's like going to your mom's house and having dinner. You know what you're going to get. It feels comforting. That's why we probably are all going back to film. It feels familiar, and it feels like a safe place to be.
While film is cool and authentic, it is not your wallet's best friend. And it's very hard to do it properly. That's where technology comes in. For example, there is the Enhancer. It offers more than 60 film looks and you have all the control. More grain? Fine. Halation? You have it. Film burn or dust? All one click away. But is that what Gen Z really wants now? The look of film through digital softwares? Or do we really want to get our hands dirty? Let me tell you what I think. I think for some it's the process. Those tactile hands-on experiences with cameras and film. For others, it's about the outcome. The unique aesthetic that film brings. And with tools like the Enhancer, this look is more accessible than ever. But beyond the tools and techniques, maybe it's about what the film look represents. A connection to a past we never lived through images that feel timeless. Filled with stories we wish we're part of. In the end, we don't love the film look just because it's vintage. We love it because it feels human. Because in a world of digital perfection, sometimes we crave something imperfect. Something real.